at FUBAR Radio. Now then, I'm very, very excited. I would introduce them as the Squirrel sisters, but then you'd be like, well, I don't understand. We've got Sophie and Gracie Tyrrell in the studio. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
So lovely to see you both. How are you both?
Very well. Busy at the moment because it's January, so that's our kind of busiest time of year, with everyone being very healthy and into kind of fitness after the indulging season.
Well, we've got Gracie Tyrrell, Sophie Tyrrell. You are sisters. This is an actual thing. You are sisters.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to find out a little bit more about you. First of all, I know that Squirrel Sisters, you started as a blog back in 2014.
Yes.
How do you go, first of all, from a blog to starting something like this that has gone on? Just to say, the bars are 100% natural, gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, grain-free, raw, it's my brace, and award-winning. You've won the Great Taste Awards in 2016 and the Free From Award 2017. And if you want to find the bars, they're at Nature Intended, Holland & Barrett, Whole Foods, Planet Organic, Revival Boots, Source Market, Barcore, Barley and Sage, Amazon, and now Selfridges.
Yes.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Gracie. First of all, started as a blog. What was your intentions with writing a blog? Was it for something like this or not?
Well, we have always really been into health and wellness. Our mum's a yoga teacher. Our parents have always kind of loved good food that makes you feel good. And we've always wanted to do something together. So Sophie moved to Singapore and I was in London, and we thought starting a blog kind of documenting our findings and recipes and things that made us feel good, it was just a fun thing to do together while on opposite sides of the world.
Yeah.
So that's why it started in terms of the blog. And then with the bars, I used to make them for Sophie when we were living together a good kind of 8 years ago.
Oh, really?
Now.
Well, just for a healthy...
Yeah, and so Sophie has a gluten intolerance, so that's sort of...
I'm one of those people. So really, it's all thanks to Sophie, that's what I'm going to say.
So thanks to her intolerance. That's why we're here. And so I used to make them for Sophie and also myself, because we just love that kind of food, because at the time there wasn't really that much gluten-free products available that were actually... that tasted good, and if they did taste good, they were usually packed full of sugar. So we wanted to create a product or a kind of brand that basically never uses any sugars or sweeteners or any kind of nasty or ingredients, just kind of whole foods that taste amazing when kind of mixed together in the right quantities.
So Sophie, how did you go then from, your sister making you these bars to being here right now doing, you've just stocked in Selfridges. How does that happen? How do you go from the kitchen, as it were, to, do you go out to different manufacturers? How does it happen?
So, I suppose we started through being quite naive about the whole process.
Which is probably good.
Definitely is good. Yeah, ignorance is definitely bliss. So we basically had the recipes, and luckily my husband's a graphic designer, so we roped him in and got him
come in
to
handy.
do. I know, we're so pleased about that one.
You the keeper.
And then we just, to be honest, started Googling, co-packing and manufacturing, and then we started speaking to people on the phone, and they'd point us in the right direction.
Okay.
And eventually, after doing a couple of trials with a few different people, we found the factory we're working with now, who are just amazing. They're so helpful, and they really support us. And then we started approaching buyers. So that was there are a few stories there. We tweeted one buyer pictures of squirrels until he responded.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's slightly crazy, but it worked.
You've got to be innovative with these things.
You know what you
and
do.
Also stalk people, which is,
my.
fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And clearly it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it's a funny one, because some of the buyers you can kind of ring up and you get straight through, and it's quite straightforward, and other buyers, it takes months or even over a year it's taken us to get into some places. We have actually got some really exciting news that we wanted. This is a
very
exciting.
exciting.
To hear. We're launching into Morrison's next month, which we're really excited about.
298 stores.
Oh my, that is
which
incredible.
It's amazing, because I think kind of when we launched, obviously, we're making it at home, and the dream is to just make that kind of product accessible to everyone. And obviously being in Morrison's, it's nationwide, it's just a great store, and their free from range is just incredible now, so we're really, really excited about that.
And they've been so supportive, so we're so lucky, and very excited to have our first supermarket as well.
That's absolutely incredible. That really, really is. When did it start? How many years ago did you start?
Just over 2. So we launched, so our bars came onto the market November 2015.
Wow.
So that was
what was that like, the first time you saw your bars out there? What was it?
It was crazy. We got so overexcited.
I think every store we went into, there would be a photo, like a bar selfie. It was amazing, and it still doesn't ever get old. It's still just whenever we go into anywhere that stocks our product, it is just such an amazing feeling, and it just makes it really worthwhile, and especially if you see someone picking it up. That's the exciting part, when they actually go and buy it,
and they're not forced by us.
And we try to be
or family,
mum,
husband. Would you say, I know things like social media, would you say that's part of the success as well? Because social media has changed. I know, obviously, as a presenter, when I started out presenting many years ago, we didn't have any of the Instagram or the Twitter. Now things are very, very different. Do you think that's helped you? So do you think that's helped?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's when we started our blog, we started social media alongside it, and actually we saw that we were getting a growing following just based on our kind of ethos and what we stood for, which was really just about being very normal girls who were trying to find quick wins to be healthy. And we wanted to have a few drinks at the weekend, but feel good and healthy. We didn't want to miss out, basically. And people started following us, and that grew. And obviously, since we've launched as a product, and we've got a lot more involved in different events, and I suppose been more vocal about what we do and grown our blog, our following's grown, a tremendous amount, which we're really proud of. And it definitely helps. And I think it just helps people understand us and what we're about. And it's engagement beyond the product, which I think is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's very, very true. And for people that are thinking, I've got ideas, I'd love to do something like this, do you have to be experts, as in experts in food or experts in well-being or is it a case of you've got a passion, that's all you need?
I think it's 100% a passion. I think we did not have any experience.
You can't imagine this. You can't imagine your success.
And I think we've said a couple of times our kind of 3 things to start a business is almost passion, persistence, and patience. Because passion, I've said this so many times, like repeating myself. Sorry. But you do need that passion to keep going, because it's so hard. And I think if we had have known how hard it would have been at the start, it would have been very different, and we would have probably done it differently. But the naivety kind of made it happen. But having that passion, you need it, because it's hard.
What's the most challenging aspect, would you say, or the hardest aspect being?
I think the hardest thing that we've found is actually growing a team, and we thought that would be the easiest thing, because obviously, we've got friends and worked in places before where that, with great people, so you just think they come along really easily, and people will tell you that they're passionate or that they've done this and that, and it's not just about that. It's really hard to find a good fit, and actually we've made a few mistakes along the way, but actually now we've got a really fantastic team, and we're still really small. There are 5 of us, but they're all really good, and it's a good place to grow from.
And where would you like to see Squirrel Sisters grow to? I mean, I suppose if someone said to you 2 years ago, would you like to see yourselves in Morrison's, you wouldn't have believed it. So, where would you like to see this brand? Would you go out and maybe try different? So instead of health food bars, other health options, what would you like to see your brand grow to?
I suppose our ultimate aim is just to kind of make it accessible to everyone, but I think because, as Gracie said, it's all about the passion, and we really have to believe in whatever we're doing. So at the moment we're really just focusing on this range and just trying to get it everywhere, and into as many places that are the right fit for the brand as possible. And potentially then we would think about, export to other countries and
take over the world, basically, is what you're saying.
We do have some more exciting news.
Yes, we do.
Which is really exciting, because obviously we started as a blog, but we were approached by a book publisher called Pavilion, who are fantastic, and we are bringing out our first ever cookbook called Naturally Delicious Snacks and Treats, and that will be out on April the 5th, I believe.
Oh my God, that is incredible!
We've been working
So you're
on
getting
it
all the insider knowledge.
Oh my God, I am in awe!
Yeah.
It's amazing!
Yeah, so that's because obviously we started as a blog with food and like creating recipes, so it's incredible for us, and it's going to be in all the cool shops, like
Brilliant.
Anthropology, everything.
Well, that is incredible. Do you know what? Sadly, we have run out of time.
But
thank you, Gracie, Sophie Tyrrell, amazing Squirrel sisters. We'll put all the information up online. Good luck with the Morrison's launch.
Thank you.
You are just doing incredible. And thank you for joining us. And thank you to everyone for listening. This has been Pitch Talk. We will see you next week at 5 o'clock.